right. I guess we're going.
I so used to podcast mode. I used to hearing the music first, and then we go in from there. I mean, we don't have to do it, but leave all of this in.
Yeah. These are our outtakes.
Wait, are you playing it?
I forgot to put the volume up.
All right.
It's on mute.
Senior.
See, we have it.
Oh, you know what we do need? We need to actually update
No, we do.
the drops.
Yeah.
Because listening to the drops, I just realized, wow, that's how long we haven't really done this. And then there's a whole lot of updating that needs to happen in the drop.
No, for sure.
First of all, Buddy and Draymond, now teammates.
Yeah, and Klay Thompson is not a part of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. So some days it
And
needs...
Mike Strawn isn't a part of the Indianapolis Colts.
Like nobody's doing the same thing that they were when the drop first got created. But welcome to the 10th Year Seniors Podcast Network. This is the Accredited. We got a lot to talk about. So I feel like it took us about a week just to come down from the, let's call it emotional high of CARIFTA 52. It was a busy time.
There was a lot to do.
It was a busy time. It was a history-making weekend of activity for Team Bahamas on the track, in the field. It was also a history-making time for 10th year seniors. And I gotta say, before we even start with anything that happened with Team Bahamas, Trinidad is a tough place to work.
It is. It's probably top one in the world to work.
I mean,
There's so much to do.
I feel like I can have an entire interview with you just asking you, what was your experience like? Because you was out there playing hurt, dog.
I mean, was I playing hurt or was I playing with the flu? Was it a flu game? Was it hurt?
Well, if you hear enough stories about the Jordan flu game,
Maybe
y'all
it
was on the
flu
same
poisoning.
wavelength.
Yeah, no, I was definitely tired a couple of them days.
Just a couple of them days. Hey, I'm just going to say,
See
Great.
the sights and sounds of Trinidad and Tobago.
great call, organizing committee.
Yeah.
Great call to have a place, to have CARIFTA in a place like that because, you know, steel pans and what's not. It's an excellent place to be.
For sure.
But on the track, Team Bahamas, 37 medals, 60 in gold. That's the big headline. That's what you got to know. And to place it into historical perspective, those 60 in gold medals, the most the Bahamas has won since 1984, 85. I forget the last time we won.
84, I think is the last time we
1984,
won.
the most gold medals we've won since then. You heard anybody in the know in track and field, people that know more about this stuff than us, anybody that was in the know leading up to this, they were saying, this is the best team that we've had in quite some time. And it was gratifying for me to see that actually play out just like everyone said.
Yeah, because when we hosted CARIFTA here, we had a full team and everyone was saying, this is the best performance that the Bahamas has had in XYZ years. Like, I went back and this is what, our 5th year in a row winning CARIFTA because second place is what wins CARIFTA.
I gotta get to that.
I just saying, right?
Yeah, dog.
I mean, at least we're able to cement that we're number 2.
Fine, but I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to call that winning. We understand.
No, I know it's not winning.
We understand what it is. We understand that you're going against a juggernaut that's... Listen, in our generation, in our lifetime, we have not seen the Bahamas win this. We have not seen the Bahamas win CARIFTA track and field.
Last time we won, Pauline was winning, hey?
So that... Yeah. Laverne E was the Austin Sealy Award winner.
It always gets some respect, don't it?
I mean, back to back.
Yeah.
So my thing is, for an entire generation, for them to just be running up tape that long, I mean, it'll probably take another generation to. So if we were neck and neck at that point, and we saw how much the gap has widened in a generation, it might take another generation to close that. But I will say, I felt like, and not just from us, but the Jamaicans also felt like
Boy, when you see the
it was an
Jamaicans
incremental closing of the gap, just this much.
It doesn't matter how small of a gap we closed. They were worrying that after that first day.
It wasn't just that they were worrying, but we've been around this long enough to know that the air about it is, all right, this is just a foregone conclusion
But you
for us.
know-
They weren't just going through the motions. I'd say that.
But what the scariest thing for them was, it was the events that they thought that they dominated on the track. We were making noise in that. Like I say, throwers are great. And I always tell people the field events are great. But what's on the track is the show. Like, realistically, that show. and the Jamaican press saw, because the favorite thing was to say, we don't know which Jamaican coming. It don't matter which Jamaican coming out. Egan gonna blow him out. It don't matter. Jakario gonna blow him out. Like, we knew that we had the talent at certain, races that we were gonna blow him out. We knew that, and it was just like, I don't care what they running champs. Nowhere close to what Egan was running.
Yeah, and we get what it is. Track and field at this level, it's a numbers game. Their junior development program is one of the most advanced, not just in certainly the most advanced in the region, the most advanced in the world. But we ain't here to keep talking about them continuously. We here to talk
for long talk.
Yeah, we here to talk about us, right? So, like I said, 16 gold medals, 13 silver, 8 bronze. The final day was 14 medals won on the final day. That was the busiest and the most active day. But before we get to any of that, I want to highlight we had record breakers out there. And I think leading that list, you talked about the field, but we had a whole lot of exciting stuff in the field because Ane Maki walked away with 2 junior national records.
Yep.
Only junior national record breaker we had at CARIFTA, both in the shot put and in the discus, came in as the team captain, winning silver last year in Grenada, silver again in the shot put, but then she rebounded with gold in the discus.
So here's the thing. When she threw her discus attempt, right? I was sleeping. I dozed off.
Playing her. It was that day?
It was that day.
It was that day.
I dozed off, right? And I was just like, I'm serious. I was like, man, I wonder if Renee's and then all of a sudden I had a big roar and I said, please don't let it be a Jamaican. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Was this the discus or the shot put?
The discus.
Because, so her and I think Lampert from Jamaica were going at it. So in the shot put, they were basically going, it was like in a freestyle rap battle going back and forth. Like round for round, they were taking the lead because I remember, I think it may have been round 3 or 4.
It was round 3, I think, that Ane
where
finally unleashed the...
She took the lead, got the record, she celebrated, and then Lampard came. CARIFTA record.
Boy.
Which, you know what? And so Ane walked away with the silver, but had the junior national record. So that was great in and of itself. But to come back on day 3 and get back in the discus, that was a huge highlight for me. That was great.
Yeah, it's always got to feel good that she ended the games or her games with the gold. That's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to go in there and win. And like I said, our throwers, because javelin is doing really well.
We're gonna get to them.
It's there. We
staying on the record breakers. Pole vault capital.
Pole vault capital.
So Jade Ferguson gets the pole vault record in the open women's event. This is what our second back to back pole vault record, because I think Vanderpool got it for the men.
Vanderpool got it.
No, that was 23. My bad. That was when we were here.
When we were here.
Okay.
He broke his dad's record by like a centimeter.
Okay.
But then I think, didn't he win it in Grenada?
Yes.
And so I think we had, and then we always were like 1-2 in pole vault.
So that's like three gold medals back to back. Well, just on the men's side.
Yeah.
And now we got the record in both the men's and the women's. Pole vault capital.
Pole vault capital. I already said it. We're pole vault capital.
Record number 3, and this was our only CARIFTA record, the under 17 boys 4x4. That team: Jonathan Higgs, Jakario Wilson, Jairo Woodside, and Egan Neely set the CARIFTA record in 3 minutes 12 seconds. 3 minutes 12.72 seconds. Got to get that right. CARIFTA record. It was again the anchor leg from Egan Neely, and we're gonna get to him a lot. We're gonna call. Obviously, everyone's been calling his name over the course of the last week. This is what happens when you have the star climb on the international stage. But for them to have that moment, and of course it was high expectations for that roster just based on who was there. You had
3 outright, well, maybe 4 outright CARIFTA qualifiers on that team.
Yeah, you had the 400 meter champion, a 400 meter finalist, and the 400 meter hurdles champion.
Yeah.
So obviously going in as the number 1 seed in that event and living up, exceeding the expectations of it. So 3 records for us from them. That race, I want to take us back to that moment because it was back and forth, and we were watching it around some of the Jamaican press, and the ankle leg, it was neck and neck. Jamaica had it with Sharp, I think, and Sharp finished second to Egan in the 400, but he led for most of it, but Egan knew what he was doing because he said it after the race. Said, "Yeah, I was just biding my time." Yeah,
he was pacing sharp, and we got to remember too that was Egan's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7th race.
Yeah,
of the game. So, I mean, he may be young, but he's still going to be tired, and he's not going to realize how tired he is because he's young.
All right, so I want to get into that's our record breakers, but we're going to highlight a whole lot of things that happened. I want to go directly to the top award of the meet. We got to talk our MVPs. 10th year seniors love to finalize things in lists because that's our language. That's how we convey ideas. But we want to start talking official MVPs. I'm going to let you go first. We're going to name an MVP on both sides. Your MVP for the guys' side.
See, I thought that Egan should have won the Austin Sealy. I mean, I'm just saying, like, anyone could throw anything, right?
Anyone cannot throw anything, John. You cannot completely dismiss.
Anyways, no, but
what Kennedy from Jamaica.
You know, I was disappointed. I'm not disappointed, but what the disappointment was Jakario. I'm going to put him as MVP.
Okay.
Going with the shocker of Jakario because he should have annihilated that hurdles record. Like, he still beat them by half a second, clipping 4 hurdles in that event, and he should have annihilated that. And I feel like if he would have done that, then you have to put him in that category of saying, hey, Austin Sealy award win, because apparently you got to break records to win it.
I mean, well, when you break 2 records and then you break a record on every throw, that's kind of special. But so let's give them the full story of what happened in that. So this is day 3. Jakario Wilson already had the 400-meter hurdles title under his belt, going for the 110 hurdles title. Odds-on favorite. And we saw from at trials, we were like, yeah, this kid is qualifying like a second and a half above the CARIFTA standard. This is pretty much going to be a race between him and how low.
Him and the clock.
Yeah, it is how low of a 13 it's going to be. But I think whoever the runner was, either in lane 4 or 5, anyway, one of the runners in the field actually cut himself. And so
that took 15 minutes to start that race.
Yeah, and so there was some, you had a false start initially. For whatever reasons, you had a delay of about 15 to 20 minutes of them just sitting on the blocks, just waiting to go. And everyone at the stadium was building this anxious energy. And I think everyone in the media tribune was like, yeah, whatever happens in this race, it feels kind of tainted, doesn't it? Because they were held so long, you cannot get a true representation of what's going to happen there. And like you mentioned, that's probably the main factor for why he clipped that hurdle. And that was his frustration immediately when he crossed the line, because there was no doubt he was going to win. When he crossed the line, he looked at the clock and then he clapped his hands in frustration. Like, I was supposed to have that. That was supposed to be my moment. Y'all took it away from me, causing me to wait 20 minutes at the blocks.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I was watching, and it's just like, all right, it was a terrible job with whatever. If it's a cut, bandage him up and let's go. Like, it ain't rocket science. Like, just let's go. Because even and we'll go with the 400 meters with the under 20, how they said the Jamaicans didn't finish the race because
that was weird.
Didn't finish the race because they warmed up and they were held in the blocks too long.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what
that's what I was told.
I don't know what the deal was with that. So your MVP, Jakario Wilson, like we mentioned, gold in the 400 hurdles, gold in the 110 hurdles, gold as a member of the 4x1, gold as a member of the 4x4. My MVP, I'm going to go with his teammate on the 4x1s and 4x4s, and the obvious choice here, but sometimes you got to pick chalk. Egan Neely. That's got to be your MVP on the boys' side. 200-meter champ, 400-meter champ. Fell short of getting the record in the 400 that he was chasing, but nevertheless.
Fell short in the 200 because he had a bad start.
The way he was, look, already heading into the relays, he had one of those names just around the CARIFTA area that he was becoming a one-name superstar. Whether you were saying, like, everyone from the other countries were just saying Neely from the Bahamas because they knew that's what it was, right? So the way he the way he captured that win for the Bahamas in the 4x1, that went viral because that ankle leg was amazing.
Yeah, and that is, whenever they say there's a viral moment.
It really was.
That was the moment of the games for, I would say, Egan, because everyone watched
Maybe for everybody.
No, but everyone watched that. And the thing is, you're so used to seeing Jamaica do that. Like, we've seen that so many times. But when Egan got the baton, he was in third place. He got it at probably around the 110-meter mark, right? Around the bend. When he got it, and he started, striking the ground.
Walk him down.
And it was
just like, walk him down.
It was like, whoa, like, he just blew by everyone. And you could see he's a 200-meter runner. Like, I think, he's a 400, but I think he's going to be better. He's better in the 200 than the 4.
It was so impressive because, he's a quarter miler. We expected when he gets the baton at the end in the 4x4 and he's anchoring that, if it's close, he wins. Mm-hmm. Even on the broadcast, because we obviously in the stadium, we weren't listening to the broadcast, but when we rewatch it, you had them saying, if it's close between Egan Neely and anyone else, the Bahamas is going to win this. Mm-hmm. So there was no surprise with that. I think the surprise was, and that's why the 4x1 stood out so much, because this wasn't someone who was in the 100-meter final.
No.
This is not a 100-meter sprinter.
He might have been able to be in the 100-meter final.
I mean, it may be, but he wasn't. And so they felt a whole lot of confidence having pure 100-meter sprinters on that ankle leg going against a 2-4 guy. But
as we say, special generational talent that there is. And that is what he showed. Jakario has the opportunity to show the same thing of generational talent. And we said it last week. We'll say it again. We need to make sure that these kids are getting the right things in order to advance their skill level. Because
money,
money, gym, you name it. It shouldn't matter. Like they're at a position right now. You put them on a pedestal of athletes upcoming, right? You need to make sure they get everything they can. So then when junior world championships come and all that, they're there and they're medaling.
I'm just making sure that happens.
I don't know.
Let's go MVP for the girls' side. Who you got?
It would have to be your favorite person, Jose Johnson.
I had her outside looking in. Let's go, Jose Johnson.
No, I just because of her age, she's another one of those up and coming stars that you could see. Like, she was able to get a gold medal.
Youngest member on the team.
To get a gold medal, usually when you first go on the team, you take your hits and your growing pains and you name it. But what was more impressive was the maturity that she had.
Yeah.
Like some of these young kids, and I know how it is.
Was she from St. John's,
Yeah. Exactly.
It kind of speaks for itself.
But it's
free champion.
She wasn't scared of the moment. Let's just put it that way.
She embraced the moment.
She embraced it. And even when you interview a lot of athletes, and sometimes you're not going to get the people who articulate that way, but she was able to say why she did it.
St. John's education.
What she was looking for, how she did it. And
that's a good education.
Yeah, like I say, the moment wasn't too big for her.
Yeah, we breed champions.
Yeah. Tonique.
Who else? Brian Clark. So my MVP, I'm going Kierra Thomas, because when we generational talent, and I think you could look at any junior national team and spot out the generation talents of the future. Yeah, Jakario, Egan. I think Kierra Thomas is right there with them. So they won 4 gold medals, so she won 4 silver. Mm-hmm. And she's so versatile. You can tell. So those guys already have it figured out what they're going to be. I don't even think she has that part figured out yet, because she has so much left to go. So she gets silver in the 2, silver in the 4, a member of the 4x1, member of the 4x4. Also qualified in the high jump. Finished 5th there, but like I said, 4 silver medals and did 5 events. That's my MVP on the girls' side.
And one could say that she may have done too many events and tired out, but
if the first day was tough with the high jump and then the 400,
it wasn't an easy day at all. But I feel we have to get to the point where, all right, you let her do this year, right? Mm-hmm. That's fine.
I think we're going to see the specialization.
Yeah. Now you got to hone into saying,
I think that's
what
happening.
Are you going to be great at? We got you in here. We let you do all the events, and we see that, yes, silver medals are successful, but she should have had a gold in the 400.
Again, very young. One of the youngest members on the team.
All it is like you say, I think you said it perfectly. I don't think she realizes what her potential is.
No, and when it comes closer to college recruitment,
then
I mean, there's going to be those conversations that, yeah, we're going to have to taper this down and specialize into what the actual plan for the future is. And once that happens, I think those 4 silvers turn it into 4 gold. Outside looking in for me, we mentioned Anae. I think she has to be up there just because of the medals in the, like we mentioned, the medals in the field, in the discus and the shot put, and the 2 junior national records. Also, Zion Miller.
Yeah.
In the under 20 boys quarter miler, wins gold in the 400 with that race that you love.
Okay. I'll say this, right? And I know you got people that come in their favorites, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I was saying,
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
Me and Amo, we were talking, and after the race, Amo said, "Wait, the luck came and it happened. The 2 Jamaicans went out, right?" Yes, the 2 Jamaicans
I feel like that
went
was
out.
going to be BTA anyway.
Anyways. So I said, you know what? And everyone knows the one Jamaican guy. Oh, we would have won it. Then we would have got gold and silver if X, Y, Z. But because this was the reasoning. The one thought that the race should have been restarted, and when the other one was running and didn't see his teammate, he stopped. I said, that don't make no sense because I still run it.
First of all, you got to pause that.
Yeah. Anyways, right?
If me and you were running, there are not much people in my life closer to me than you. If me and you are running, you stop, we could talk about that later.
Yeah.
Like after I cross the finish line. Why am I stopping because you stopped?
Exactly. No. Okay, so the reasoning was there, but he ran a great race, right? And I'll just fast forward to the gold medal relay. I don't think Zion was going to lose after that one because I was just like, hold on.
They had all the horses in that race.
I said, this is what y'all had?
Those same 2 guys that stopped, they were in that 4x4.
And they still get beat. So,
and we won that 4x4. Convincingly.
So
led from the opening leg to the anchor.
You're trying to tell me you had the best 2 400-meter runners.
And y'all lost the 4x4?
In the under 20, and you lose the 4x4 like that?
And our third leg was a 100-meter run?
No, yeah. After I saw that, I was like, no, Zion, you win. Like, I don't care who it is.
Yo, so every time he stepped on the track, it was a gold medal. He had the mixed 4x4, the under 20 400-meter champion, and anchored that 4x4 team. Outside looking at it, he was close to getting the MVP. Look, but yeah, they were running on with that because
they lose.
It's one of those marquee events that they feel like they had to have. But
that was the biggest takeaway from these games. Like, all right, I know the Jamaican women dominated in a lot of events, right?
Yeah.
But like we say, on the track itself, they getting worried because the region, not just us.
They had a couple 4 gold medal winners like we had.
Jakario, but the region's catching up.
That's the thing, though. See, it ain't just us. Like, we may be next in line. And I mean, from a numbers standpoint, obviously they still winning 70+ medals. So obviously, it ain't closing like that. Like I said, the gap is closing incrementally.
It's closing enough where they're getting worried.
But it's the other countries just kind of siphoning off one here in a big event, one there in a big event. So it's not just the Bahamas, like you said. It's Grenada coming in and getting one, Trini coming in and getting one, Barbados, St. Lucia. Everybody is having, and if you don't have the big programs where you could take a 60, 70+ member team, you may be taking 25, 30, 40.
But you're still plucking those ones
But you
off.
got some dogs in that,
for sure.
On that small team.
Barbados to me, they have some talent. I mean, granted, it's very difficult to understand them, right? If you think Bahamians are difficult to understand, no, not them Bayesians.
Media team is funny.
But they have talent. St. Lucia has talent. You know who has talent in throws? The Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
Like the Cayman Islands are putting on stuff. So this is what I enjoy as discovering VJ Edgecombe. Going to see these
scout for talent, official talent scout.
Yeah, just seeing the younger categories, and then you could just say, man, like,
what's that gonna look like a few years from now?
Exactly, and then saying, man, 10 years ago it wasn't like this. Like,
so I feel like, and I want to get to what our favorite groups of the team was. I feel like, because I went back, like you said, we were doing some research into looking how this fared against some of the recent teams. And I feel like the closest comparison for this one was that 2011, 2012 time period when you had Antonique and Shawnee.
Shawnee was good.
Wrecking shop Shawnee was good, but Antonique was a 2-time
I
Austin
under-
Sealy
no,
Award
I know,
winner back to
but
back.
boy.
Like Shawnee still got records, but there was a time 2011.
Antonique was destroying everyone.
Think about it. 2011, the Bahamas won all the 100s. Think about how crazy of a time that had to be. This team was better than that.
Mm-hmm.
This team was even better than that one.
See, one thing, and we've seen it, and we've always, I wouldn't say beat around the bush, but the 100 meters has never been our thing.
No, it's never been
It's never
been our strongest
We've
point,
had
no.
200, we've had 400.
I would say you got to say 400's been the thing.
What I was more excited about with this one is we brought the dominance back in the 400 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we just said, you know what? We're taking our 400 back, and we're going to make sure, because we medal in every 4x4 relay.
The girl that beat Kiezra, I think she was from Antigua. She's not going to beat her again.
No.
That's done.
Yeah.
You're not beating her again.
No. Yeah, enjoy it like Gaff. What is it?
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, when who beat Bolt?
Oh, Grafton.
Grafton beat Bolt.
Grafton, I
Enjoy
beat
it
Bolt.
just like
Yeah.
that. Boy, if I would be bold in anything, I would
No,
be.
but he still has to be talking about that to this day, right?
I tell people
You
that.
still tell people about the Princeville game where you had like 15 rebounds.
Exactly. So imagine beating Bolt once.
Imagine beating Bolt. I would be in my office telling everybody.
I would have that video. I would wake up to that video every day and be like,
World record holder. Okay, I guess.
If I had the right training.
I mean, it could have been me. Your favorite group from Team Bahamas. I want to go first with this one. I want to go with the throwers. We alluded to it earlier because what has been done with just that one segment, just that one program, I think has been one of the coolest things to watch in track and field over the last few years. Like, we always had the marquee events. They have made the javelin a marquee event for the Bahamas. And it just so happened, I feel like everything was post Keshawn Walcott and winning that gold for Trinidad at the Olympics. And then all of a sudden, I mean, it's not all of a sudden, obviously, because we have a history in the javelin. We talked about Laverne Eve earlier, but then it's like after that, the junior development program with clubs like Blue Chip, it was like a spark that woke things up. And then what they've done over the last few years, you see them reaping the benefits now. Like, yeah, you got Rima going to the Olympics and winning the NCAA championship and breaking records. You got Keyshawn and everything he's doing in the NCAA right now. But this young group of throwers, they won the first 4 medals at CARIFTA for Team Bahamas. You had Tasha Stubbs and DIOR-RAE
That's
Scott.
why we had to be out there early, bright and early.
Because you got to think about that the night before.
We knew
we knew we was gonna get medals on day one. So Tasha Stubbs and DIOR-RAE going 1 and 2 in the under 20 girls, and then in the under 17 boys, Akil Williams and Wyatt Cartwright going 1 and 2 again. So right away, forcing the javelin.
Oh yeah, no, and it's like I say, it's impressive because it's to the point where everyone wants to be sprinters, right? Everyone wants that glory. You're going to get the glory in any event if you win it. Let's just put it that way. But the talent level...
It's a lot of glory and gold medals, man.
Yeah, once you get the gold, it's glory. But all the talent we have coming up in different events, because we could include the pole vault. Like, we have the javelin. These are events where niche events, but we're doing extremely well.
And you know what I think?
People getting scholarships off this.
Of course.
And that's the biggest thing.
You know what I think is going to bolster them, and we see it a bit. The multi-sport athletes, if you can come over and find your niche into one of these. Hey, Donald Thomas was a hooper. I keep telling people, look at Joshua Williams.
Yep.
Back-to-back medals in CARIFTA now. 1 gold in under 17, silver in under 20. Found the high jump. You got more hoopers finding the high jump. And you got baseball players finding javelin. So I don't know. It may not be your initial sport, but you might have talent out there that could be taking you somewhere.
Make a living off it.
At least get an education off it. I mean, these people giving them out as long as you're good at something.
My favorite group?
Yeah. Give me a favorite group.
The entire under 17 squad. The whole, everyone, all of them. I feel like that they had the most pizzazz and the most vibes out of every group. Like, and I just loved and we're going to go back to Egan, just when he won that 4th gold medal, boom.
Throwing up the 4.
He's like, 4 of them. You know who he reminds us of?
Clay?
Captain Clay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them.
Should have done it like that. All right, let's talk about some off the track stuff that I feel like we had to get to. Now, we couldn't obviously because we were working and we were overworked to a point. I wish we were able to spend time in the stands with the parents. I wish we could do that. I wish there was times when we could sub out of working and we could actually be amongst that. One, it looked fun. It looked fun as hell.
Oh, no, because you're in the shade, first of all.
Well, yeah. Two, aside from the fun, imagine the stuff they were saying.
Oh, man. No.
Imagine the stuff.
Look at the stuff we say.
Exactly.
Like, look at the stuff we say.
And we don't have the same emotional attachments they do.
No.
I know the kind of stuff that I say when I'm watching guys in play. So I can only imagine what they was like watching their kids have to compete.
But I just, like I said, the whole thing is this, right? We know Jamaica won the most gold medals, right? I would just have loved to see the Jamaican people next to, because they charter a whole flight full of fans. Mm-hmm. Like, I will say this, it is probably one of the most impressive, events to go to. And
yes.
I feel that there is opportunity to be able to say, hey guys, we know this is friends and family flight XYZ, but they need to promote this almost like how they promote the carnival flight.
I agree.
Try to get people to go to the event and say, hey, take a mini vacation over Easter, but go watch some, because it's a good time, especially when the Junkanoo band's playing.
It's a good time.
Because it feels like you're home.
It's a good location. Speaking of that, right? And listen, I'm going to say this on the front end. Can never pay back Jamaica for what Vibes Cartel has done for me. Can never pay back Trinidad and Tobago for what Marshall Montano's done for me.
Marshall, good too.
I feel like we have to be more selective with the Junkanoo. I feel like Junkanoo has become such a mainstay at CARIFTA that it not only empowers us, it empowers all of them now, because the rest of the region loves Junkanoo so much. No, I want it to just be for us. I want it to be streamed and pumped directly into our athletes' ears. Can we just run with earbuds?
And you can see this is when you've been pasting last year.
Yeah.
You've been pasting for the
Big
Valley.
time Junkanoo. I mean, that's the name. That's official. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Anyways,
no.
Though.
I feel.
Hold on. When you say that, I don't want anyone to think that I am a member of the Valley.
I mean, you pace for
my nephew who was rushing for the Valley. He was gonna get Jeff, and I helped him on Christmas.
He was struggling.
Day. I am a proud Saxon. Go ahead.
I feel that. I guess this is an arrogant thing, and I'm not saying we're better than people, but I feel
this isn't gonna end well.
No, it's not. Junkanoo is just one of those things that brings everyone together, regardless of where you're from.
I don't want to bring them together.
And
I want the smoke.
And when you start hearing the drums,
yes,
everyone can relate to that. Everyone can relate to that because it's just like, ooh, I like that sound.
I know.
And us as Bahamians, right? We can't be selfish. We gotta show the region, like, look, Trinidad has carnival, Jamaica has dancehall.
I love them both.
Right? We listen to them plenty.
Like I said,
but nothing like a live sporting event when you hear, like I always tell people, this is why I like BAISS, I can't analyze this, because you're hearing Junkanoo the whole time. Is it great for production? Absolutely not. No. But you know what? It's great for vibes.
We ain't got to worry about that with this.
No.
But I understand everything you're saying. And look, at the end, the closing ceremony, you know what takes center stage? Big time Junkanoo rush out. And everyone enjoys it. We can enjoy it with them.
So you're trying to tell me if you're a runner,
yes,
you don't want to hear the drums going when you're running down the last 100 meters?
If we ain't in it, I don't want the group to be playing.
Okay, I can see that. Then.
I don't want the group to be playing.
I can see that. But if we in it,
as a matter of fact, if we in it, and if it looked like we ain't about to, if we in it, we can play it. Fine.
Did they play Junkanoo when Egan run down everyone and win?
I can't remember. I was too busy locked in. I was screaming things that I can't say on the podcast because we're trying to keep it clean. And it started with mother and ended with a,
Good old mother.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's all you could say when you was watching that happen.
Yeah.
What else could you say?
There's a lot of things where it was just like, whoa. I mean, that's the most polite way to say it.
That really is the most polite way to say it. All right. So I want a top 5 of moments. It could be performances. It could be moments that really had nothing to do. It don't have to be a gold medal winning moment. All right. So let me give you an example, right? So for me, I think the workload that Cameron Henfield had was a top 5 moment. And I'm not just, a part of this is, yes, I used to coach him in baseball, so I was going to mention him in this anyway. But so this kid runs the under 17 100 meters, makes it to the final, wins a bronze in the octathlon, then comes back and anchors the 4x4 team in the prelims of the 4x4. Crazy workload. Like competed every single day.
Yeah, and I feel that we've had multiple athletes that do that workload. It's like, it's great that they can do it, but we have to get to the point where it's like, you need to specialize in X, Y, Z.
I do wonder what he's going to be though, because if you have the speed to reach the 100-meter final.
Yeah. But I feel like if you stuck with the 100-meter final of the octathlon, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, because that's just a couple extra races. That's two,
You gotta
theoretically
work on
two.
that javelin.
But you gotta work on that javelin. I'll say this. Our multi-field, our multi-events people,
You gotta work on the javelin.
they gotta work on the javelin and thing. Like, it's something, I don't know. I remember I was watching javelin and kind of I can't throw a javelin far at all. But when I'm looking at our and it's like, and I'm like, oh no, because it's so important. Like,
They gotta go to blue chip or aerosol.
but you gotta remember, it's the points that you need.
yes, it is.
And when
the points that
all
need.
you see is negative points, ding,
Yeah.
and it's just like just like in the multi event for
Aaliyah Evans.
Aaliyah.
Evans she also won bronze in the HEP. So we
Yeah.
came away with two medals in the multi.
and she knew, and I was up there and I'm
also
watching.
got to work on the javelin.
Yeah, well, she said it. She said she looked muscular, but she can't
Her
throw.
interview was great, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna play it in this, but she had one of my favorite interviews because she was like, "Hey, man, I can't throw. I look like I work out a lot. I look strong. I'm strong.
I ain't strong.
I gotta be able to throw."
But it's like, I feel you could tell that this is a new media age because some of the interviews that you get from the people or the athletes, they're fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's more fun than whatever it is. It's like, it's a different thing. I know people are always going to be serious about X, Y, Z. I really feel that, we missed the John Morant moment in the 4x.
I put that on us.
Yeah.
I put that on us. That's our fault because
You're telling me Zion wouldn't have done that?
we should have communicated with that to them at practice. But then,
They
they had to get the whole serious B3A speech. We are here to do a job. And the whole time we were standing on the side, I mean, we want them to have some fun too, right?
Yeah. Here's the last race. What they could do? Kick you out?
Some fun. I know he would have done it because remember what he did at trials. I know he would have done it. I needed someone to do the Jocelyn. Like, you know what? We putting it out there now. I mean, like, y'all know, if you come for serious journalism, that's what we do kind of Monday to Friday.
We can do it.
We don't want to. We here
for the fun.
We here for the fun. So next year, we got to work on these celebrations. That's the one thing I feel like we needed to work on across the board.
You know what the Junkanoo boot people should have done? Play the Get 'em Reggie and let them do the dance after.
Yeah.
We got to talk to the Junkanoo
I don't know if they
group.
still doing that.
It don't matter. You can
so?
still bring it back. I feel like we need to talk to the Junkanoo group and say, this is what's in. We need you to play this.
Coordinate celebrations.
So we could get the hottest TikTok songs
Yes.
and have TikTok celebrations. And oh man, that's great. Next year, we will have a TikTok account lit, recording them do the dances.
We did miss the moment with the Jocelyn, but there's still time. There's still time.
Next year.
Track and field season ain't over yet, right? They got more stuff to do.
Wait over for me. Once CARIFTA done, that one is you know how hot that sun is?
And you know what? And so is the pod. That'll do it for this episode of The Accredited. Y'all can catch us all over the place. Catch us on our news Monday to Friday, where we run the sports segment. You can also catch us on Guardian Radio 96.9 every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Such a great time slot, Cardo Hatterson.